North Korea's leader, Kim Jong Un, has met Russia's defense minister and a high-ranking Chinese delegation in Pyongyang. They're Kim's first known prominent foreign visitors since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic 3 years ago. North Korea's defense minister says Russia and Pyongyang are united in countering what they called gangster-like U.S. hegemony. Both Russian and Chinese delegations are visiting North Korea as part of the 70th anniversary of the Korean War Armistice. Well, ceremonies are also being held in South Korea on the occasion. Let's now go live to Florence Looi. She's in Busan for us now. Florence, what more do we know about this North Korea visit?
Well, this visit by the Chinese and Russian delegation, in a way, it is also intended for a North Korean domestic audience. It is Kim Jong Un, leader of North Korea's way of saying to his people, look how important this country, our country is. We have foreign delegation visiting. But it's meant to send a message to the international community. Now, the Chinese delegation was led by a Politburo member, mid-ranking official, but North Korean state media made it a point to say that he came bearing a letter from Chinese President Xi Jinping. Now, Russia sent a much more senior official, Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, and he is the first Russian defense minister to visit North Korea since the fall of the Soviet Union. Now, like the Chinese delegation, he also came with a letter from President Vladimir Putin addressed to Kim, highlighting the two leaders' close relationship. But he also attended a defense exhibition in Pyongyang where on display was banned ballistic missiles, amongst other weapons. And analysts say this is significant because it could suggest Russia's acceptance of North Korea's nuclear program. Now, the relationship between Russia and North Korea seems to be mutually beneficial. If you will remember, U.S. officials have accused Russia of buying weapons from North Korea. North Korea and Russia deny that, but if it were true, this would also give an explanation as to why Russia values its relationship with North Korea.
And Florence, the North and South are marking the occasion very differently, aren't they?
Very, very differently. In the South, you have veterans of the Korean War from the countries that took part in the Korean War. They've been invited by the South Korean government to take part in commemorative events. And on Thursday, that started with a visit to the UN cemetery to honor soldiers who died during that war, some of whom are buried in the cemetery here in Busan. And later, the South Korean president will attend a ceremony with these veterans. But in the North, however, this is being marked in a much more celebratory manner. There was what North Korean state media described as a grand performance, with singers, dancers, school children performing for the North Korean leader, as well as the visiting Russian and Chinese delegation. Now, North Korea describes this day as a day of victory for the grand liberation of North Korea. Now, it's not just how this day is being marked that sets these two countries apart. It's also the people attending. In North Korea, you have the Chinese and the Russian who provided support for North Korea during the war, but who are also remain close supporters of North Korea to this day. And in the South, you have the countries that supported the U.S.-led UN command that provided international troops as well as medical personnel during the Korean War. And in a way, this highlights not just the differences between North Korea and South Korea, but also the differences that divide the country at present. You have on one side the U.S. and its allies, and on the other you have Russia and China and its more authoritarian states.
OK, we'll leave it there. Florence Looi, thank you very much indeed.